This is proxy gate, proxy 1 gate. I wrote in the doc some things. Someone who proxied the second gateway, but I'm not sure it makes a difference because the stalker will arrive at the same time. Anyway.
Yeah, the proxy second gateway, it does get the stalker there slightly faster if they do it correctly. But it's like it's still it's not that much faster. Like it's very similar. And that's basically what this build is here. So this is not a max packs. You know what a max packs is, right?
Yeah, proxy the pylon, proxy the first gate.
Yeah. So that's the one where
Zealot stalker.
Yeah, that's the one where you just want to build your CC on the high ground, preferably, if you've scouted early enough. Do you scout? I forget. You don't scout. So for you in that scenario...
I do sometimes. I didn't this game.
Right. Well, in that scenario, it's super easy. If you just build CC on the high ground, because your Reaper goes across the map, they don't have any defense at home until they get a Stalker and recall it, which is pretty complicated. So you could just go and start killing probes with your Reaper and just defend on the high ground and be very happy. So Max Pax is one of those builds that kind of relies on it's extreme harassment with extreme greed, right? It's the super powerful combo that if we let them do both of those things, we're like, hey, we defended the aggression, we should be ahead. And we're like, wait, why am I not ahead? it's that sort of thing. Sorry, my Google Docs is lagging. 1 second. I should really swap to using a different browser. Chrome is so laggy. But anyway, there we go. Cool. So if we are playing blind here, why didn't your Reaper go across the map, by the way?
Because it was, where was it? Yeah, it was rallied to the natural, and then it saw the probe coming from a funny angle, so I thought he'd proxied some on the right. So I went to check that.
Okay.
We got back a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was now.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why the probe was there. He must have just misclicked it. I saw that and I thought, oh, he must be proxying something.
So we talked about the 230 to 240 bunker as standard, not delaying your build at all. Exactly what you're doing here. You end up being a couple seconds late on it. Marine was blocking it and so on. So it's interesting because I was like looking at these situations and thinking, hey, could I defend this completely blind? And it's like, well, we shouldn't really be able to, but yeah, we should have just built the bunker on the high ground, right? So the tricky thing against this build order, it's been a little while. It's out of the meta at the moment. So let me start writing some. Sorry, let's get the stream ready. Okay, they can see it. Phew. I was like, wait, I haven't even paid any attention to the stream. Let's hope they can actually see what I can see right now. Let me just very quickly. Yep, that's all good. So the thing is, you don't want your command center to get stuck at 99%, right? And not be able to finish it. That's the shitty scenario. But he's come in too late to stop it. And a lot of the time people will. Now, what if, though, your Marine and your SCV weren't there? Does he kill that SCV on the command center before it finishes? It's still pretty close.
Probably. Yeah,
but
I'm
you
sure
could
he
make...
could have done, even if he just had not gone for the bunker.
Yeah, it's still almost done, though. So, like, if you just brought a second SCV down preemptively...
He was late putting on gas, though. So this is a bit late anyway.
Yeah, check your build orders, because a lot of people hit late with this build. I remember, like, I've played against the last, like, maybe 5 times I played against this, and it's, like I said, that's over many months, because it hasn't been that often. I feel like they always hit late. Like, there are times where I like, finish my command center, get it back to the high ground. Maybe I need to send 1 more SCV down to finish it, and sack 2 SCVs, and then float it up. But then I've just, like, got units on the high ground defending, and my Reaper kills some probes on their side of the map, which you're doing a great job of, by the way. Your Reaper is effing him up. But unfortunately, yeah, no bunker on the high ground. So you can imagine, even with a bunker on the high ground, yeah, you might have to repair it a bit with only 1 Marine. It's not very good. But your Reaper can then be microed and stuff. Yeah, you can get out a Widow Mine. Okay, yeah, you'd be all good. So, of course, Your Reaper saw that probe 220? 215. 220. Okay. So normally you will scout if they're proxying or not by 230 anyway with that Reaper if it goes straight across the map, right?
Yeah.
So it's still time to just throw the bunker up on the high ground, I believe. Even with that SCV scout.
So Reaper arrives and sees no expansion and then bunker on the high ground.
Reaper sees no expansion. Yes, and that is why actually if I don't SCV scout in this matchup, my Reaper always goes to the natural first, then the main. If I'm wanting to check that, right? Which is definitely a thing. So it does technically mean you waste a little bit of time. You can still often get in the main and kill a probe though, if they're not super tight on their build. So yeah. Reaper sees no expansion. We go bunker, high ground. Be ready to send second SCV down to try and tag team CC and barely finish it. So that's a thing, and that's something we might choose to just cancel CC in future and immediately rebuild, right? Because if right now it's only halfway done, it sucks, but he's built a gateway on your side of the map. So if you cancel that command center, rebuild it on the high ground, and a bunker on the high ground, that's not really the end of the world, is it?
No. He has no expansion. No warp gate.
Yeah.
Started, yeah.
So that's something, ideally we do the tag team, send down the second SCV, but this comes down to how tight your opponents are, how close they're proxying the gateway, all that sort of stuff, yeah.
I'd be thinking, wait to see if they do cancel the CC, and if not, then I'll start cancelling it in advance, but if people
that's what I do.
Aren't totally tight on it, then why bother?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So, any more questions regarding this situation?
This is against Proxy's second gateway.
So what
Proxied, if it's max packs, then the concussive Marauder. Reaper, then Tech Lab. Get concussive and start making Marauders.
Oh, you go. Oh, I have heard there's a cool concussive Marauder thing. So is that after the Reaper? Sorry, the concussive. Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Concussive Marauder after Reaper. Does your Reaper go across the map, or do you hang out to kill the zealots?
Yeah.
So you go across the map?
Yeah, it still can, I think.
Okay. And so you basically just CC on the high ground, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't SCV scout...
if I didn't SCV scout, then cancel the CC.
Yeah, CC cancel if needed. I mean, the thing is, those zealots come in a lot earlier in that case, right? When your Reaper's only halfway across as well, probably, sort of thing, depending on when they want to show it. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact timings of max packs.
Check the zealot starts at 140, I think, if I remember right.
Yes. So it'll pop out kind of as your Reaper's leaving the base, and then it'll like come in as the Reaper's getting to your side of the map. Yeah. Okay. Cool. CC high ground cancel if needed. Bunker on high. Do you bother with a bunker on the high ground versus that? Because we definitely do in the other scenario.
No one's done it to me. No one's done it to me.
No one's done it.
Oh, I forgot to check after this game. Does a Marauder beat a Stalker?
Oh, easily. Yeah, Marauder kicks the shit out of a Stalker.
So
obviously, if you don't have concussive, then obviously it can disengage and then come back with shield regen, and it will beat you. But yeah.
But I can. There'll be another Marauder by then, and so having one Marauder will mean I can repair the wall.
Yep.
And then more Marauders, and eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
We take the low ground.
As long as you target fire the Stalkers, yep. Just remember the Zealots to give high ground vision so it can shoot you from the low ground and dance in and out a little. So there might be some micro involved, but hey, you can always just pull back and hit the Zealots as well. I have not practiced that scenario, so don't really know the ins and outs of it. I would just go a bunker on the high ground and marine production. There were some games where I was very friggin' greedy and I just built like a marine straight into a reactor and was like, it's a marine behind a wall. And then it obviously gets a bit dicey as those stalkers start coming in. But because I'm forcing the first stalker to recall, I would push the level of greed there, where I'm literally like, no, I'm just going to go my normal build, like Marines and Hellions. And just, that one Marine is killing the Zealots with the wall. CC's on the high ground. My Reaper's dancing around. If they do decide to come forward with the Stalker and leave it at the front, well, yes, I'm going to have to, my wall will start burning and I'll have to start repairing it and losing some SCVs, but they're losing probes the whole time to my Reaper as well. So that's the trade-off, but that's a more stressful situation. I think something like Concussive Marauder that just shuts it down hard, to me, sounds like a much more controlling and really stable way of doing it. That sounds awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
And then, yeah, so Reaper, Tech Lab, take the second gas quickly, and then otherwise just do the normal build.
Cool.
Making Marauders. Yeah.
Hells yeah, man. All right, sounds pretty good. Yeah, definitely some situations can happen. So the situation where if you're not Reaper scouting, this goes really wrong. So what if that gateway is like right here or something, like really close to you kind of thing, and the stalker gets in like really early, right? So that's the kind of situation where you're like, oh well, like I saw at 2:30 that there's no expo, and I started the bunker in the high ground, and then bam, the stalker runs up and kills the SCV building the bunker, and you're like, oh, what the shit? And you've got to pull like 4 SCVs and tag team them on and off the bunker. And if you're really good at that micro, you're not actually losing the SCVs, right? Because it's 4 stalker shots to kill an SCV. So it's not too hard. It's like pop on, oh, he starts focus firing on, pop it off, But you've got a Marine there as well that's kind of shooting it the whole time. Maybe you're building another Marine instead of the reactor because you've experienced this and you're like, oh yeah, I need to just build 2 Marines or 3 Marines straight away. Just don't build the reactor. So you might have to make some sort of safety addition like that as well.
All right.
Build 2 to 3 Marines pre-reactor if struggling to get bunker up on the high ground. Tag team SCVs onto bunker if they are rushing stalker up ramp to snipe. Cool, dude. Should we play some games with Blia?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Awesome. Yeah, those gateway builds, a very important part of the meta for a little while, dude. A very important part. They were a big thing. You're still party leader, so you choose a map of your choice. Big thanks to Blia for helping us out. Big thank you guys for the support. Had a few subscribers. Thank you, Soul Razy. Thank you, Hoskels. Appreciate the resubs, guys. If anyone has any questions or backseat coaching, share it in chat. Occasionally, you guys point out some really genius stuff mixed in with the drivel, so please encourage it. And we may actually, we actually often get someone pointing out a really important point, and it brings across some really good discussion with whoever I'm coaching. So it's happened actually many times at this point. So backseat coaching encouraged, definitely, as long as we're not being dicks.
People in chat have questions as well, which need to be answered.
What are you, Diamond 2, by the way?
In the Diamond 3 MMR range.
Okay, doke.
Yep.
Let's do it, man. Master Zerg, but grinding that Terran. Doesn't want to play the smooth brain race Protoss. Chooses not to, but
I will do. I'll get round. I'll get round to it.
It's good to get the knowledge of all 3, but no, this is awesome,
definitely.
Man. Let's hit the details in that build, doubling up those workers, hitting the everything on the right time, and good luck, have fun. What's up, fam? Yeah, I thought we were going to be doing TVZ because he said he was going to be playing Boolia, but then I realized actually Boolia's Protoss is right around the right level for his play. So my bad on that, guys. It is actually TVP. Change the stream title and hop back in game. There we go. Cool. So he's only got 2 on gas. There we go. Pulls the 3rd one on. That's good. He is missing a buddy on this patch, and he's just pulled a guy off one of the close patches rather than one of the far patches to block the other gas. Very minor little things that could be efficiency tweaked, but nothing major. Nothing that I'll bother pointing out right now.
SCV ready.
Pull that SCV back. Yeah, you're doing good. The voice of Pig distracts thee. Yeah, just remember to use that SCV to build the depot on the high ground. So it's always important to not chase too far. You're doing great though.
CC's upgraded.
Keep it up. So he just lost 75, not 75, what was he lose, 20, 30, 37 minerals? What is a quarter of 125? I don't fucking know, I can't do numbers. It's like 32 minerals or something? I don't know. He lost some minerals, accidentally put down an eBay. He can just pop that off and then pop it back on, but oh, no, you need to run it to the marine first. Oh no. Shouldn't have backseated him, guys. I've already thrown his game off. Let's just write notes. Let's just write notes, man. Crack game 1 versus Booyah. What's this map? Lightshade. This is a pretty good map. I don't know about you guys. I've been really enjoying this map. Oh my god.
Oh.
If you want, we can always pause and restart. It's totally up to you. Otherwise, just go with the flow and make your way through. But it's either, let's just, you know, roll with it. Go smooth. That's the focus.
Let's go
It's
on.
all good. Waited to the last second. I wanted to give him that option because I'm like, dude, we're 3 minutes into a practice game. We can totally just restart. Lots of cancelled structures early. Fat fingering / fingers on wrong hotkeys. Fair enough. That depot is very early and that starport is exceptionally late. That starport is so late. Oh my god. Caesar Robo 3 gate. Now we talked about this.
My man.
404. Good Reaper Scout sees Robo 3 gate. Reaction. We talked. Sorry, did this go off his camera? We talked in previous session about having spotter depot on edge of main to see where Prism comes in. So this is really important because the last time we saw him defend this build. Oh! Get up there, just click on the Prism and you got it. Oh, just click on it. Yeah, dive. Okay. The other thing is you got to unload the bunker, which he's always been really slow on unloading the bunker. I told him he needs to get better at pulling SCVs, but he's still fucked it up really bad. Yeah. The important thing was to have a depot up here. Instead he built 3 there. When you see it coming in, to gather all your Marines together, unload the bunker, then go with the Marines and pull the SCVs all together. Instead, he has once again completely forgotten about 4 Marines in the bunker, which is half of his army, and he's gone in a bit disjointed. So it's just so much damage that doesn't need to happen. It's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, you see 3-gate Robo. It could just be a 2-base Colossus build. You don't know. But what you always do as a safety precaution is say, okay, well, there is one scary attack. It's a Prism 3-gate. Cool, I've got me bunker. Some people like to only leave one dude in the bunker. They're like, wow, the main is actually the more vulnerable area. So what you can sometimes do, right? Extra safety is leaving just 1 Marine in bunker, rest in main, and rallying new units to the front to reinforce bunker. So what you can do is you'd be like, cool, I've got a Widow Mine here and 8 Marines here or something like that. And like a depot there or whatever, and my 8 Marines here. So then you're ready to respond to a Prism, and then if he starts trying to bust the front, you can repair it, you know. Now, obviously, that's a meta thing. That's an option, but, well, what if your opponent actually tries to bust the bunker with like 8 Stalkers really early? You've only got 1 Marine there. Well, it's probably not the best thing then, right? I mean, you can still mass repair it and then bring everything down, And arguably, mass repairing a bunker is going to be the same thing either way, because 1 marine or 4 marine, you're not really killing stalkers with that, right? That's like the latest Widow Mine drop of all time, by the way, but the game's been a shit show, so we understand why. Thank you so much, Splurch, with the 3-month resub. Haiku, wet condensation. The bacon is still slapping loud on the counter. Thank you, Splurch. That's great. Rockstar Handsome before as well. Rockstar Handsome, Soul Razy, Hoskills. Thank you, guys. Some of these alerts are showing up and some aren't, but thank you, everybody. It's very beautiful.
Your SCVs are getting wrecked.
Nice little... Oh, he's already got charge as well. Mother trucker.
Add-ons finished.
So what are we doing? I would be going for like an all-in here and be like, okay, we're too far behind. Let's go, or something like that, you know?
That one's been in buff for
Let's see how Latte-less, like, he might just be like, oh, okay, let's hit the build. And I'm okay with that as well. It's not going to give him the highest chance of winning, but that's okay. So he's building depots. He's got 1 depot builder. He's got a 3rd command center. If you're trying to recover here, very important to be hitting SCV production, dropping mules, which he's doing. Is there an observer outside his base, by the way? We've got an observer there, observer there, observer there, observer. Oh my god, the ring of perversion. Jesus.
Let's have a blast.
Why are the extra tech labs there? He used them to build a Raven and a tank. So the thing is, if it times out that your barracks are really late for whatever reason, you could swap them on there. But otherwise, it's just the starport and the factory are going to naturally swap off those. So you can always
AFK.
throw barracks and stuff on those later. But the important thing is they're just left over. Most people are like, oh, but it's so inefficient. And it's like, yeah, whatever. We're not looking at a pro gamer. It's more important to make things easy. So I've coached a lot of people right through Masters League Terrans who try to do perfect add-on swaps and they're floating 1,000 minerals the whole time and their build sucks, right? So I always tell them what's really important with Terran is never build 1 barracks at a time and never fiddle too much with your barracks. Do 1 add-on swap, that's fine. Do 2 add-on swaps, okay. Do 3, you're playing with yourself again. So you guys know the lyrics. That lyric was actually talking about Terran build orders. If you're not a pro gamer and you're wasting all your APM doing add-on swaps, oof, it's naughty.
Can you unpause? Oh.
No! Sorry. Sorry. Didn't realize, ref. My bad, guys. Go, go.
Okay, back. Did you miss
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
What a shit army from Bulio. It worked out. It was a good ambush. Latte-less's push was kind of shit. Awkward pause timing. Raven really far ahead of his
Ready
army.
for dust off.
Yeah, Bulio's actually very vulnerable. I think his gateway timing sucked again. Yeah, he's getting up his gateway count now, and he should be fine because he just cleansed the army, but really awkward push from Latte there, unfortunately.
Ready for dust off.
So yeah, you know, it's weird because I feel like I don't normally end up with 2 extra tech labs. But I think I must. I think it's just like build 1 barracks on 1 so quickly. Actually, it's because more often than not, I've been sticking with tank production a little bit more recently. That's why. So only the starport lifts off, and then I build my 4th barracks on it. That's why I haven't... Because I was like, I basically did the same thing he's doing. I was like, why do I not have extra tech labs? Yeah. Okie doke. After that push failed and so on, he's got 3 bases up, 80 probes. So we're probably done. So it's probably a good idea for us to just GG out from here. He's about to kill you anyway with some Zealots and Colossus. But that's a good little warm-up game. Sorry for the unpause there. Did your headset just die? Is it a wireless one or?
No, it's it turns into white noise. Then I unplug it back in again.
It just starts.
I plugged. Yeah,
starts giving you like
I
the.
plugged it into the back of my computer, so I should.
A spectre dives into your headset and starts throwing some interference, trying to speak to you from beyond the grave. No worries. Yeah. Host up again. Let's get another game going. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, that game was just us being a little bit fat fingery in the early game, right? You know, a couple of mishit hotkeys. Was it a barracks that we accidentally built instead of the factory? I didn't actually see what
Yeah.
it was. It was a
Yeah,
barracks,
it's the
right?
same. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
done the same hotkey with the different subgroup. Yeah.
Right, yeah, same thing. So no worries. So just two structures, made everything a little late. Wipe the slate clean. Round 2, let's go.
Oh, for the mine drop, if there are 3 stalkers on the edge of the base, I can go in, can't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
it's pretty. It's going to be costly.
9 stalker.
Yeah. You will unload. You just won't be getting out of there. Like you very unlikely will be able to pick back up and then like get back for a second round. That's all.
Okay.
I would say still just commit to it for simplicity's sake for now. But sometimes, you know, you can veer around and come in a little bit later in that scenario or come in from a different angle. But yeah. Good luck, man. All right, guys, we're going to quickly do some maths while we're waiting for him to do his early game. Wikipedia medevac. Wikipedia stalker. So we need to double check that. No, not real life medevac. Jeez. It is 150 hit points with 1 armor. A stalker does, I believe, 18 damage a shot. Yeah, 18 damage a shot. This is, of course, pre-upgrades. This interaction is normally encountered. So 150 divided by 17. Why 17? 18 minus the 1 armor. The answer is 8.82. So obviously you round that up because we only have whole shots. It takes 9 stalker shots. He was correct to take down a medevac. That is 3 volleys. This is why 4 stalkers is not really a good number. I often leave 4 stalkers in my main, guys, and I often let drops in, and I get really fucking triggered. You guys have seen this, because they always unload medevacs, even when I'm ready with my 4 stalkers. If I really want to completely shut it down without looking at it, it has to be 5 stalkers. That's something I've got to remember. So a good little bit of homework for my own brain there. 5 stalkers is the number. Back to that point trademark before the pause happened. Essentially, yeah. So some build orders, I actually encourage my Terran players to drop all 4 barracks at once in a nice, neat line. Because when you drop those 4 barracks, you build barracks, queue back to minerals with those SCVs, come back 40 seconds later when the barracks are finished, build 4 tech labs or 4 reactors or 2 tech labs and 2 reactors. But the idea then is you only need to look at your base twice to do that. Whereas I look at another player, them working their way up from 1 barracks to 5 barracks, even though their second barracks, maybe even their third barracks finishes a little earlier than what I've told the player to do, they're not remembering to build the add-ons until much later. And they sink a crazy amount of APM. They have to go back, build a barracks, go back, build the add-on, go back, build a barracks, go back, build a barracks, go back, build the add-on, go back, build the add-on, go back, build the barracks, go back, build the add-on. They literally spend a full minute of APM just adding barracks and add-ons, and they end up with slower and more stuttered production than if they do it the way that I mentioned there. So this is the same thing with Protoss. If you find yourself always forgetting your gateways, sometimes it's good to like, oh, I'd like to be building an Immortal, but you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to build 6 gateways all at once, save the minerals for that, gate, and then send the pro back to mining, just so that I actually get all those gateways down in one quick go. And then I can add my Immortal after that and add some more pylons so that I don't get supply blocked and yada yada. Oh, that Marine needs to get back. And now get in the bunker, jump. Oh, he ran too far, but oh, yes. Bullia did mess up his micro. At least he gets in. Now he's just got to bring another SCV down and hopefully finish that. Oh, the Reaper. Reaper should go to the natural.
Your base is under
Reaper
attack.
to the natural in this scenario is how you punish. If they're being a fucker, you always leave the Reaper in the natural because they got a shield battery in the main. You're doing really well. Keep it up. If you guys ever see a shield battery in the main and they're pressuring you with their units, the Reaper goes to the natural. This Reaper got 3 kills. It could have got like 7 kills there, and it gets out still. So command center getting delayed is bad. The Protoss should pay the iron price for that. You gotta... I'm not saying you should try to be that crazy guy, but I'm just... you should basically Theon Greyjoy the Protoss. You should turn him into a bit of a reek. If they want to send across their first units like that aggressively, you turn them into reek. That is what you've got to do. You're like, no, you can't do that, you little fucker. And you chop their cock off. Now, I don't know if he saw the robo this game. He did. But he's not going to be ready for it, unfortunately. His barracks are about... If they're down at like 4 minutes, 4 minutes 10, I'm okay. They were down about 4:35, 4:30. About 4:30. But yeah, now he's going across to this Widow Mine drop. He's got to unload that bunker. He forgot to unload the bunker again. Hey, you remember this time. But the thing is, he's fighting with his SCVs before his Marines are there. He's got to start syncing those up. He also should, in this scenario, have control grouped his units. Main army 1, SCVs 2.
Add-ons finished.
Or if he's F2ing, SCVs 2. So you can see here, he's controlling without hotkeys. It's not very good.
SCV ready. This better be good.
If they commit with first gateway units, remember to micro repo. Verse battery, go to natural and kill probes there, and it's okay. Good micro at home on your bunker plus CC. Good job. When the 3-gate robo prism drop comes in, you remembered your bunker marines this time,
Terrible damage.
but you still aren't control grouping your army. Can't F2 or you pull mine drop home. And you need to control group your SCVs as your secondary army group.
Our forces are under attack.
Only fight with SCVs at the same time as Marines. You should be pulling to the right, away from the drop initially. Linking up with the Marines,
Add-ons done.
then fighting all at once. We are consistently not syncing our SCV pull with our Marines. We're lucky that we aren't just straight up dying to this each game. So what I'm saying there, guys, to explain that one more time, his Marines are all up here. There's a drop here. You don't pull your SCVs. Your Marines are going to take forever to walk down here. They're not stim Marines. You bring the Marines down to here. The Stalkers are coming in, so you grab the SCVs, you click them all in this gas, or you pull them over to the right, and you put however many of them you want to fight, whether it's all of them or some, on control group, army group 2. And then as army group 1 gets here, you pull your SCVs, you sync them all up. SCVs are kind of tanking, Marines are in front. And then once that fight happens, all you really do is A move, stutter step, and the bonus points micro is pulling back front SCVs that are getting shot and just clicking them back to the minerals or clicking them back so they get deprioritized. So if you do that well, sometimes you get a lot of your SCVs wounded, but very few killed, which is awesome. Now, Bullier is going straight up to 3 base off 5 gates. He's got double forge on the way. This is a pretty good way to play for Bullier. It's a big army coming, though. Bullier wisely backs off. He very much relies on scaring his opponent like that. Unfortunately, this observer sees everything. Raven didn't catch it. I like the medevacs following the tank. Now, he should be putting all of his focus on his army. Another observer there as well. So, oh, his Marines are really far forward. Oh, if he started a step to the right a little bit more, it would be good. I like that he stayed there because it was good against the Zealots. I just would have liked the Marines to get control clip behind the Marauders slightly. It was good enough. The reason he wanted to hold his ground, and I've talked to him and other players about this before, is you want to defend the tanks from the Zealots, right? So ideally, he would have even been a bit further out where he baited the thinger. Why is he still pushing, I wonder? So this is a terrible engagement. I don't know what he's doing here. So he hasn't reinforced at all. He cleared an army. He had an amazing engagement. He's all in. Seems to be not focused.
I want to look at that.
I mean, potentially. I'm curious why you kept pushing there. The first fight looked like it went pretty well for you. Did you feel like you were all in?
I was very far behind. He must have full 3 base saturation by that point.
Yep. I mean, you are correct on that. You're not in a great position, but that fight was really good for you. The first one, right? You took out a whole bunch of zealots for a little bit of bio. Took out a whole bunch of stalkers. So the thing is, we just need to line up. So you need to make better decisions when you're in a game. If you feel behind, well, we need to play like we're behind. So there's a thing that doesn't add up. If we feel that we're that behind, we need to win the game. Why do we have a third command center, and why haven't we pulled SCVs? Whereas the thing is, you didn't need to go all in because he gives you this fight. This fight is amazing. We could actually just keep playing a macro game from there. Even though you were down 18 workers, you've kept your units alive. You've got upgrades kicking in. You know, you can add more barracks here. Your third CC will finish. You could still play a macro game from here, even though you're down 18 workers. You've got mules and so on. But what to me says we weren't planning ahead. We're still just at that point where obviously we're still new at a Terran. We're still just occupied with the build. But that's what we need to train ourselves to start thinking about is, hey, I feel behind. Therefore, I'm going to go all in. And in that case, we should have had a 4th and 5th barracks rather than the 3rd CC. Not missing a single beat with production, rallying across the map, and maybe pulling 20 SCVs as well, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel behind, that's what you got to go
it's
for.
Choosing one.
Choosing one, exactly.
Macro or go all in, yeah.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So if you went out with this push and you
can
were...
we see... I didn't have
Yeah?
the stream. Can we see the first fight again? Outside my base.
You are on the stream, right?
Yeah, I wasn't a minute ago.
The first fight outside your base, you mean the Prism drop, right?
No,
Or do you mean when he's harassing you at the very start of the game?
About 8 minutes, looking now.
Oh, so you mean when you moved out?
Oh, you meant... Oh, I see. Oh, I see what you mean. So where was that? When the Prism died and all the Stalkers died.
So the fights... So you see there's a fight at 8 minutes is where you killed his army for just a handful of Marine Marauder. It's a very good fight. So that's where you could have chosen to just continue to play a macro game. And that's where it didn't add up that we kept going all in because we were going 3rd CC and so on, right? But because you can see it all on the stream, right? It's all working fine
yeah.
now? Cool.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. But yeah, we definitely didn't have the best early game. So let's go back and look at that. First of all, let's talk about the Prism drop. He's doing it a lot, but you're also making mistakes a lot against it. So
I forgot to... You said fill the bunker, then rally all the other units to the main. I forgot that this game.
yeah, and the thing is, if this sort of thing is an issue or you've scouted it like you did in game 1, you don't even need the bunker to be full. You could have 1 Marine in there because often they're not going to choose to attack that. So that's like a meta choice. If people are busting your bunker a lot and you're like, I need to have it full, go for it. But if you're otherwise, you can have them in the main. We also talked about last week. Remember, you've got to have a depot in the edge of your base to see if this drop comes in. If you know it's a 3-gate robo, which admittedly, even though you saw the robo this game, you did not know because you were very busy in the early game. But in game 1, you knew it was 3-gate robo and you still didn't build that depot on the edge of your main. So that's something that we've got to remember to squeeze in there so that we see these things coming.
The 3rd depot should go on the edge of the main.
Yeah, I mean, you could just do that by default every game since you normally build your 3rd depot behind your main base.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no reason not to do that.
3rd depot in edge of main by default. Then it doesn't even have to be a reaction. That's actually awesome, right? We love that. If we can just do it every game anyway, it's never going to cost us anything. Awesome. Good choice. Syncing up your units. So, 2 things. One is we'd like to have our units control grouped a bit more, but the biggest one is control grouping your SCVs and syncing them up with your units. So obviously we have the problem here that we are way out of position and we just loaded up our Widowmine drop and oh man, this is really annoying and hard, right? So this one's the worst possible case, but in general, you do have an issue where you're fighting with your SCVs before your Marines are there, when it's usually more advisable to just run away. Now, in this case, he's only got 3 Stalkers, so it's not so bad. But especially... Oh, he does actually warp in 3 more, doesn't he? But especially if, say, it was like, 2 Adepts in there, 2 Zealots, and even here with 6 Stalkers, your SCV is fighting them. It's kind of just gifting him kills. We're very lucky he misclicks and picks them all into the Prism, which is a very bad choice for him. We need to just try to be a little bit better at syncing these up, right? So this time we did remember to unload the bunker, which was a lot better. You completely forgot to unload your bunker game one while all the fighting was going on in your main. It was just sitting there with half your marines. This time you remembered. Took us a few seconds because you were still sending your Widow Mine drop across the map, but then you do bring it. Your SCVs, though, are already fighting. So in this sort of scenario, the way I would do it, and obviously the extra seconds we have, the more feasible this is. In this scenario, it's always going to be a bit of a shit show. Is let's look at what you do in real time on your camera. Okay. Oh, what the shit? Wow. I would actually be grabbing those SCVs and running them up to the right, kind of above the starport. Grabbing all my marines, unloading my bunker, bringing them down, and then as the marines get close to the stalkers, that's when the SCVs are going in to fight. And the SCVs are on a different control group. And that's one of the most important things in any one of these all-in scenarios, is having them already on a control group. So you can drill through and surround the proxy double barracks marauder that's coming up your ramp, or the 2-gate stalker all in, and you surround them on your ramp, or the marine all in, proxy 3 racks. Any all in, anytime we're pulling workers to fight, there are so many scenarios where control grouping our SCVs so we can quickly, bam, mineral walk surround on our ramp, or bam, A move, or bam, pull them back, is so useful. So that's something that I really think we've got to try to build. And again, someone like Bullia, who loves this sort of harassment drop opening, such a great way to start things out. So really try to work on that, and you'll find you get way better returns in that scenario. There's just no reason we need to lose 16 workers here.
So just always have all the SCVs in the main control group.
Nope. You do this reactively when you need to fight, because sometimes you only want to pull 4 SCVs to fight. Say 4 Zerglings or 6 Zerglings come in to attack your command center in a TVZ early or for pull first. You've got 1 Marine, you want to pull 5 SCVs. You want to grab 5 SCVs, bring them down. As you box them, you put them on the control group.
In TvP, at the start, I have 3 SCVs on a control group in case I get cannoned, and then TVZ 7.
7 in case it's a 6 or 8 Zerglings.
7 in case it. Yeah.
Cool. That's good prep. You've got to do it reactively though as well. It's much more important reactive because there are so many different situations where, oh, I need to bring even pulling the boys. Oh, I'm gonna grab every SCV on my natural, throw them on control group 2, bring them. Right? They're always on a different control group to your army because you want to micro them a little bit differently to your army because they are always the tanks, the body blockers, the units where there'll often be scenarios where you want to hold position them in front of your bio if you're up against like short range units like Zerglings or Hellions versus Zerglings, or you're fighting charge lots. Those SCVs on hold position are amazing. You attack move them into Zealots, they will just die very quickly. But if you hold position and kind of block all the Zealots, they're actually amazing, right? So just try to build that muscle memory where pull workers, bam. So the next time you are in a game, you have to pull workers reactively to something. It's not pre-planned like that. Be like, oh, I didn't do it. Watch the replay, visualize yourself slowly doing that exact maneuver, and really visualize yourself and actually play it out. Like I will actually do it on my keyboard or above my keyboard. I will imagine my hand doing that control group. So really just try to grind it into your brain there so that it's like, bam, stimulus. Oh shit, stalkers. And we see it here. Bam. Box SCVs, A move.
Box, click.
And then control.
Control. Yeah.
Whatever your key is for your secondary army. Which key would that be, by the way?
6.
6? Okay, which has your Reaper on it right now, which does not need a key.
The mine drop will be on 5.
Cool. Awesome, dude. That's the main bit where you fell behind, but let's go back to the earlier bit. So he was naughty. I was saying that basically he's being a greedy entitled little shit. So
I remember you said that last time. The first gateway unit, and Reaper should sit in the natural, and it's fine.
Get your Bolton Ramsey on. He's Theon Greyjoy, and you need to punish him. Be really sadistic about it. That Reaper in the natural. So your SCV chased a bit far again on that probe, because we do like to use that to build the depot. He's so aggro with his probe. I don't mind you just leaving one on it. But did we lose this SCV 2 games in a row? No, this time we pulled it a little bit further, which was good. But yeah, he's really just trying to disrupt you there. So I guess against someone who hangs around so consistently, maybe it is worth it to leave an SCV on it.
I was thinking, should I leave it there, or will the Marine be out? And I thought the Marine would be out. Yep.
You didn't queue a Marine immediately. It was slightly slow. No worries. Not the end of the world, but definitely a thing. And then, yeah. Okay. Your Reaper wasn't rallied in. So if your Reaper was rallied straight to his main, notice his shield battery hasn't started.
You said to the natural if.
Okay,
I'm
well,
not
if you're going to do
starting.
that, then you should still queue it, though. You should still queue it to get in vision of the natural and then go straight in the main. Because
Okay.
that Reaper cannot be fucking around. Yeah. If they go core first, like, you do need to be watching it as it goes in, right? If they've gone core first, because there could be an Adept popping from the main, like, as you're running into the main, right? So you don't want to be completely AFK with it, but we do want to be punishing someone like this who both hasn't built a shield battery and is just going to go straight across the map. So we've let him get away with being a bit naughty here. Whereas if you went past that Adept, he would be forced to chase you into his base. You'd also see the shield battery, so then you'd be like, oh, okay, I know what to do. And then in the follow-up, you'd already be mentally prepared. You'd have slowed down as Adept potentially, or you'd already be killing probes and hanging out there and stuff. Our bunker builds slightly, maybe 2-3 seconds later than it does in your other games, just because of the early game distractions, and obviously he barely gets in. Even a 1 or 2 second delay there, right? 3 second delay, and we get that bunker up, and then we're not having to shuffle things. And if your Reaper was already on the natural, we're killing probes right now, right? The fact that he's rallied his first Adept and Stalker, he's bullying you, right? He's chasing you around the ring, shouting oogie boogie, and we're letting him do it. So let's just make sure that Reaper queues straight into the main after the natural. Just do. It's got a 2-point barracks rally point. And we should be good. So 2-point barracks rally point. He's being a bit more active with his probe than normal. That's fine. It's okay. It'll slow you down slightly. It's probably slowing him down a little here and there as well. And yeah, I think we should be okay. You didn't lose the SCV that time, which is really good. But I think your handling of the probe defense was fine that game. I think that was fine. Ryan's like, what? Lateless is playing Terran now? Yeah, Lateless is learning all the races, Ryan. Bully is in, you're in, he says go. Let's do it. All right. So opening looked way better that game. Let's just keep it up. And let's make sure that Reaper forces him to be a little safer. Our bunker is not going to die 2 seconds before it finishes this time. Should be a much smoother opening. Should feel way better. Good luck, have fun. Yeah, Bully is really leaning on him in this early game, guys. I thought you meant tasteless at first, Ryan. Yeah, yeah, Bully read the same thing. I was like, what? But so the thing is, there's off race. People are like, oh, this is like someone might be like, oh, this is Lateless's off race. Bully, this isn't even really Bully's off race anymore. You can tell he's getting more defined with his builds. And the way Lateless is taking a real defined approach to learning, I wouldn't call this off racing at this point, because he's really memorizing his builds and actually focusing on learning. So part of me is like, is that even an off race anymore? I feel like, you know, once you start really dedicating to properly learning a race, it's like not even really an off race anymore. You're like, is that an off race? I don't think so. Yeah, Warcraft 3 campaign's amazing stuff. I've played that game so many times. Oh, he sends a very early probe across. Slows down his build, man. I guess I send that across as well, same timing. I also am very aggro with my first probe. Oh. Glad you're enjoying the accents, Chivargo. From America, I imagine. A Brit and an Aussie doing a bit of coaching together. You haven't played it since 5th or 6th grade, Staff? Oh, damn. Yeah, I've replayed it a lot of times. You're tempted to play on their third-party ladder? You don't want to just play... you don't have remastered? Splurge says, thank you, I'll be here all month before. Nice. Okay, second Deeper goes down.
Upgraded.
So his SCV's following, like, and technically I wouldn't really want to follow that much, but since he's so active with his probe, it's like, whatever. Is that Reaper rallied? Reaper has not been queued. Factory's late. Yeah. This Marine is here though, which is good. So Reaper's gone way too far. You can go there and then there. So you notice he's clicked that in a bad spot. Unnecessary.
SCV ready.
Reaper doesn't need to be clicked on the Nexus, just in view of it. You can basically go straight up the ramp
Ready.
into the main base.
SCV ready.
Add-ons done. Took long enough.
Oh, get off, get off, get off, get off, run, run, run. Oh, he's gonna pull further away. That Adept could come in, yeah, yeah.
SCV ready.
Better to lose a little bit of mining time than lose those SCVs. You can let them repair each other and stuff in that sort of situation as well. It can be really nice. So if he came back in, that would have been good. Now he's just got to get a scout with this Reaper.
SCV ready.
Oh, he didn't scout. He didn't queue it to go scout. I mean, he'd already spotted the Robo though, so I guess he's all right. Should drop that mule in the main. You don't want to take any risks with those early gateway units. Thankfully, he dropped the previous one in the main, which is more important. Third depot on the edge of the main. Oh, beautiful.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
I'm kind of tempted to tell him stop rallying into the bunker. You know, I'm like, you've already got 3 dudes there. It's more than enough. Ah, yeah. Oh, he had an SCV in it as well. Yes, here we go. So as long as you build Marines nonstop, you're totally fine in this situation, guys. That Widow Mine should be unburrowed though, so that you can easily load it into the medevac, because now you've got dudes coming from all these different situations. So you want to try to do that earlier rather than later. Also, second and third barracks is kind of late, so
SCV ready.
yeah, it's a little bit quicker. Obviously, he's managing a lot of things, but yeah. He hasn't control grouped his Marines at all, which I don't like. For me, I look at that and I kind of go, why are these not on a control group? Like, what's going on here, you know? Yeah, like, how is he controlling that? Is he just boxing that?
They're attacking
So why is he running his SCVs away? It's because I told him to do that, because his Marines weren't in position last time. It's good. He's listened to what I said and he's remembering. It's just funny because I'm like, no, your Marines are there this time. Just go, go, go. Get on top of it. Don't let him warp in. This is still a way cleaner hold. Instead of 16 SCVs, he's going to lose 7, but that could have been even easier. It's just funny because if your Marines are on the drop, just pull the SCVs and just fight it kind of thing. But he was like, oh, no, I got to pull the SCVs. I was like, no, your Marines are here. Just a small little change up for him. But he's got the Widow Mine drops off. Oh, he didn't burrow one. That's a shame. Oh, he's got one there. If he burrowed that one. Oh, can you imagine if he burrowed that, guys? Oh my god, even now he could burrow it and kill like 20 dudes. Oh my god. It's fine. He's focusing on his macro. It's just one of those funny things.
Your forces are under attack.
Marines were in position. Depot was out and spotted it too. Well done.
Complete.
Well done. No need to run SCVs. Marines were already good to go. Just jump on top and A-move those SCVs. He did control group. Good job control grouping though.
Kaboom, baby. SCV ready.
Jump on top of the enemy.
Add-ons finished.
Third CC's on the way. What do we got? What's that? 3 Stalker drop. Cool. I would auto turret that shit. That works. Can't unsiege it.
Gangway. Coming. It's about to get heavy.
Ready for dust off.
All right. So you want to unsiege, unload your bunker. You want to grab at least 10 SCVs with this push and go. The reason why is we want to have killer instinct. He's thrown away like 12 stalkers in a prism, and you know he has a quick third base. There is no way he can hold this push. Get your Raven to follow your army, keep building units, keep making SCVs, make an orbital behind it. It's not technically all in, but you should be able to fucking kill him right now. So just get across, whether you stim a marine ahead or you scan ahead, up to you. But focus everything on this push. Queue up as much extra SCVs and bio behind this. Bring all of your army and focus on this fight. You got this. Yeah, if they throw that much shit away and you don't just commit hard to a push, you're fucking up, guys. Like, he's just throwing way too many units away. This is one of the grossest setups I've seen. His tanks are so pedantic. He saw a Colossus and 4 Zealots and he started sieging his tanks back there. That's the situation. Just go! You scanned a Colossi and 4 Zealots. This is a situation where you stim in and siege your tanks on his natural. Like, you don't want to be pedantic about that sort of thing, because you're just trying to make sure you don't give them time. Now, one bit of bonus micro. Bonus micro I'd like to see a bit more from you is control clicking Marines and pulling them behind your Marauders. Or control clicking Marauders and moving forwards. This move is specifically great versus Colossus. Versus Immortals. Not a good idea. All right, good shit. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Working a bunch of little habits there into your play, my dude. So we are out of time. So let's look at the rewind on that one.
That's my first ever SCV pull.
Get used to it, man. Motherfucker plays like this. You're like, wait, he's like, because remember what I said, extreme aggression, extreme greed behind it. And if that extreme aggression is not really killing anything except a few of your workers, it's like, oh, okay. So like if we think about it, why did I tell you to go in? Because he's 2 times got in there and killed a few workers. Hasn't been an efficient trade, but he's traded army for workers 2 times in a row, and you knew he had a quick third up, right? So we know that he is leaning into economy and he's sacrificing all of his army to damage our economy. The longer the game goes, the more that becomes a feasible decision for him, where it's like, oh, that pays off, right? You know, he's got economy over time. He's going to be ahead, even if those trades weren't directly efficient. So I was like, oh, we'll just fucking go, man. Go get him. Now, there was one situation. Remember when I said, you know, when you scan ahead, you saw what looked like a rather weak army. Now, I get there's charge zealots, and that's always a little scary. But you saw like, okay, there was a few more zealots than I realized. There was 2 on the top, but it was still 7 zealots and a Colossus.
And I still sieged the tanks on the low ground.
Yeah, you should have sieged like
gone for it
on the cybercore or something like that. Like on top of that cybercore is where you're tanking. Like you should have just stimmed in, dive. Like your interference matrix or auto turret, whatever you want to use. The idea is, yeah, just ball up, stim in, siege your tanks in range of one of these next side, probably the natural. So that was one we could have been a little more decisive there. Also, when you are going for these sort of pushes, rally across the map. I know normally we don't like to do that, but if you're SCV pulling, rally your barracks across the map, because you had a shitload of bio that could have been rallying into this fight. 4 Marauders, 4 Marines were out when we weren't even halfway across the map. We also forgot to bring the bunker Marines, but that's okay. But even that handful of bio, I mean, you know how it often goes. Even the tail end of this fight, we didn't have much left. You often have like 6 Marines extra in these sort of fights. They're the 6 Marines that kill the last few zealots. They're trying to warp in and kill 20 probes and win you the game. So just do remember to rally across the map when we pull SCVs and when we go really hard. Also, while it's fresh, I'm pulling SCVs. Because if they come in with a Prism, by the way, that's our nightmare, right? That's why we don't want to pull units and rally. But you'll still get on top of it with your rally. And more importantly, that means they're committing even more army to damaging your economy, which makes your push even stronger, right? It's like 2 minutes from now, that prism drop will screw you because you've lost your economy and production. But right at that moment, that's 4 zealots in a prism that aren't with their army. So unless they can buy time for a few minutes for that to be worth it, makes our push even stronger. So just keeping in mind that idea. I think it was the previous season or maybe 2 seasons ago of DreamHack Masters. I was casting my younger brother and he kept getting dicked by a Warp Prism charge lot drop every game. And I was like, are you ever going to leave a Viking or some units behind? What the fuck? But it didn't matter because every game they could never kill his army. Like he'd always end up with like 8 SCVs left, but they just could never kill his push. Whether it was a 3 base that ended up getting dicked and losing all his SCVs or a 2 base, it always ended up just being this very committed Terran push that would win the game. And it was like consistently happening. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That I often see Cure win games like that. I see Clem win games like that as well, where it's like it's like, hey, wait a second. If you're not going to respect my frontal push, which is already very scary, you're just going to keep going for my economy, well, I'm not going to give you the time to let that maneuver pay off. So just something to keep in your head.
Do you say pull SCVs specifically because it's Colossus or just always?
No, they're pretty bad versus Colossus. But if we spread them out, they still tank some stuff. I mean, Zealots, Colossus, Archons are all good at killing them. They're best against, like, I guess, like, Stalkers and Sentries and Immortals and those sort of units, right? Because none of them are great at killing SCVs. Yeah. So this start to the fight was really messy. Our bio count also, we can see, even just having a handful more Marines and Marauders here would have been big. We only had 10 Marines and like 3 Marauders. So that rally and those 4 extra Marines, this would have been huge, massive. Now, the one thing, previous game, this game, if you can get used to control clicking your Marines and moving them back, or control clicking your Marauders and moving them in front, specifically against Colossus play, that's just a really cool bonus micro that I think would pay off. I think it's low on the priority list. It really is like a bonus points. Does
like
Latte List want a golden star? Yeah, you know, like it's if you want to be the teacher's pet of TvP, that's the one that gives you nice bonus points, because there's just a few moments, like even that good fight on Lightshade, where I was like, oh, this is a good fight for you, but if your Marines just pulled back slightly behind your front 2 Marauders, they wouldn't have been taking a couple of these deadly Colossus swipes, because Colossus swipes are so good. Euthermal even mentions if he's up against Colossi, he actually will go 4 Tech Labs, 1 Reactor, specifically because he's like, ugh, you know, sometimes, like, the Marines are good for killing Zealots. They're not bad at killing Archons because they got such good raw damage, right? But there's too many times where he finds he just ends up taking a few big swipes and they all disappear. And he's like, oh, God, this unit's too inconsistent for me. So he goes super Marauder heavy against Colossus play. Just an interesting point. So, like, here, yeah, if our Marauders were kind of always pinned behind our Marines, but if our Marauders had already shuffled in front or something before the fight happened, that would have been beautiful. Same thing if you get to late game TVZ, you want to always try to get those Marauders out front, right? And if you've got enough time, the spreading often involves just control clicking your Marines, clicking them back, and then spreading the Marines after they're behind the Marauders in TVZ late game. But yeah, good shit, man. We committed, we punished him, we took him down. Let's go back. Funny moment. You defended the drop really well, good job. You didn't need to run your SCVs away this game. You did a great job in that you control grouped them, which was awesome. But because your Marines were already all together and ready, we could have just pulled the SCVs straight on into it. So I do like that you pull your Marines back, but we could have both moved our SCVs towards it and pulled our Marines back, and then as the SCVs got in line or in front of our Marines, then we could have moved the Marines again. So just a small little difference, not a big one. Better to err on the side of caution, I would say. So not too bad.
I'll never have the Marines all control grouped as they pop out of the barracks, so I'm F2ing and then sending the medevac back. The mine drop medevac.
Fair enough. I think that's fine.
That's not a terrible habit.
No, I mean, I do like to compulsively control group those Marines a lot more than you do, but I think I still end up F2ing in a situation like this. Like if you scouted 3-gate Robo, I would say you should probably have those first, at least the first 6 Marines control grouped or something, right? Because you kind of like, oh yeah, there's a good chance this move's coming. I'll, remember to control group them. I don't think it's the most important thing in the world. Oh, by the way, really funny moment, actually. Check this one out. You forgot to borrow one of your Widow Mines.
What? Oh.
Yeah, check this out. Sorry, what were you gonna say? Before you forget.
I chose Zerg specifically because you can control group the eggs. Because
Because you were like, that's awkward. Yeah, makes
it's
sense.
such a pain otherwise. Yeah.
Now, you did such a good ferrying him towards your Widow Mine. So you got both mineral lines stacked on top of your Widow Mine, which you didn't burrow. And watch this. You think it's over?
Dear.
You think it's over? You think he's seen it? You think he's... No, he hasn't seen it either. Look at this. And then the stalkers like walk away and all the probes are like, hello? Hello, Mr. Widow Mine. How are you doing? It went for like 20 seconds. But you were macroing well, so good job. He finally comes back and he's like, whoa, we got lucky that guy didn't fire. Yeah, that Widow Mine was packing blanks, but all good. Awesome, mate. Great little sesh there. You're improving a lot. Bully is a good practice partner because he will just make you make mistakes and he'll force you out of your comfort zone and just
no one I
constant
play against
distractions.
no one I play against in Diamond 3 does good timings like that.
Yeah,
Do
he's in your face,
seriously
man.
inefficient things.
And then he's doing, you know, his 5-gate Colossus Zealot, which is kind of scary. But then he's like, bam, 3 base, double upgrades, 8 gates. So he has these nice Protoss power spikes, which is really cool. Awesome. Thank you very much for the coaching, dude. And I guess I will see you. So next week we'll go to the hour earlier, which is going to be 8 p.m. UK time. Right?
Great. Okay.
Awesome, man.
Thank
All right, I will
you.
see you then. And don't be surprised if I message you a day or two ahead and if the sleep schedule is still fucked. But EPT China will be done by then, so it should be it should be back to normal. But I'll let you know.
No, that'll
day
be
or two
fine.
ahead.
Any weekday evening time is fine right now.
Awesome. Should I just lock that in for the next few weeks as well?
Can do, yeah.
Okay.
I should be sending the payment for the next ones today.
Okay,
So,
no worries. Thank you very much, mate. All right, that's saved. I've locked you in as a weekly one for now, and just let me know if you ever want to remove that, preferably before the day of the actual session, a week or two ahead, and then I'll just clear the next ones off. But I've just got those as a recurring slot on the calendar for now, so no worries.
Yeah, daylight saving is later in my country than in Australia. Bully up. So it's doubly complicated.
Oh, so the clocks. Wait, so when?
The clocks have gone back. Yeah, 3 days ago.
Yeah, they do. And then in America, it's this weekend. Yeah, America's a week after Europe. Okay. I was like, I know Brexit happened. You guys didn't leave daylight savings at the same time, did you? So I was like, oh no.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Well, awesome, mate. Well, good luck with your prac. Thank you, Booyah, for the help as well. If Booyah has any questions, let us know in chat. And I'll talk to you later, mate.
Goodbye.
Good night, dude. As always, great play by Latte List there and a good little coaching session. So, guys, hopefully you got something out of that. See you in the next one.